Hurry up already. We could run into a hunter, or a council member, or a federal agent.
Stop your whining, egghead. She's going as quick as she can.
How'd you even find this place, V?
I'd had my sights set on a real swell deer, and then we...
Quiet! Finally. Welcome to our own personal slice of Nirvana pizza.
What does that even mean?
It'll be like a clubhouse.
Our own personal home away from home.
I just want to see what's inside already. Will you do the honors, Victoria?
My pleasure.
Golly. I figured it would be in a lot worse condition.
Floorboards seem a-okay to me. Hopefully there's no flesh-eating monsters hiding in the basement. Lab experiments gone wrong, lurking, salivating at the thought of a group of kids walking into its home.
Okay, jeez. That's enough.
Radio equipment still seems like it's intact. Don't know too much about electronics, though.
The only problem might be powering it up.
And cleaning it. With all these webs, we might as well be walking into a pit of spiders. Yuck.
Who do you think built it?
And why was it abandoned? There's probably some real money in selling some of this equipment.
My uncle told me that the military abandoned a lot of their temporary bases after World War II.
I still like the experiment angle more.
Guys? I think we should make a pact.
Are you heading around the bend? You're not usually very sentimental.
I'm serious. We're all seniors now. This will very likely be the last year we spend together. Caleb will join the military. You'll probably go off to college, and me... Well, I don't know yet, but I'm certainly not going to stay here.
I like it. I've never been in a pact before.
If that's the case, there's something I want to add to it. We ought to vow to use this year well, to investigate all that is weird here, to uncover what goes bump in the night. Any objections?
May?
None here.
Right on. Everybody stick out your hand. I know it's silly, but do it anyway.
Come on, Caleb, you're not getting out of this one.
You guys always drag me into something. Fine. But if you and your treasure hunt backfire, I'll never shut up about it.
Do you all pledge, in sickness and in health, that we'll stick together as friends even after we graduate?
Yes.
Yes.
No question. And do you all pledge that no matter what happens, we'll get to the bottom of the symbol and the rumors about the town council?
Absolutely.
For sure.
I guess.
And now it's done. I wonder what's in the basement. V, you want to come check it out with me?
V? My head.
Your what?
Are you okay, Vic?
No, this wasn't how it happened.
How what happened?
Shut up! You weren't here when we made this pact.
Of course I was. We just made it.
No, we didn't know you well then. You'd only just moved into town a few months back. What is this? Guys? Where did you go? Guys! Hello? Where did you all go? This isn't funny. Caleb?
Victoria! The beat is crushing
I'm.
Michael made some coffee in the back, so I brought you some.
Thanks.
You were twitching back there a little. Bad dream?
Something like that? I don't know. I'm struggling to remember it now. Even though it felt important. Like it's just blowing away. Inches from my fingertips. Yes, it was stupid staying up all night for that American history test. Not like it helped much anyway.
Want to hear a history joke? Maybe it'll make you feel better.
Sure. Why not?
Where was the Declaration of Independence signed?
Where?
At the bottom.
Caleb.
The Eastmouth podcast is written, directed, and narrated by DC Tullis. Based on the world created by DC and JD Tullis.
Good evening, Eastmouth. It's your friendly neighborhood radio host here with another titillating broadcast. Now, before I get any further, I'd like to mention that I've received another mysterious letter. Though Esther received a gift quite recently herself, I've got to say that it's been a real minute since I've had the pleasure. Now, I must admit that I've had the chance to examine the contents of the envelope before the broadcast. I have not, however, read through the main course of tonight's exploration. Of tonight's contents, there is a story and a crossword puzzle. A central word on said puzzle has been circled with red ink. We'll see what that's all about soon enough, good folks. Excited as I might be to add another solved mystery to my illustrious resume, I've been allowed the great pleasure of being paid to sing the pleasantries of an establishment that I can personally vouch for. I'm not singing their damn jingle, though. A book for every sort. A book for those who don't read. A book for your coffee, gin, and tea. Come one, come all, for Horn's Bookshop has a sale that's quite the ball. Regardless of the rhymes, they do have a great selection. And if any of you lot are interested in Robert E. Howard, they've finally acquired the 4-story collection, Conan the Usurper. Quite the read. Now that we've got some tunes playing, why don't we begin the story and ponder the first clue? Written in red ink, like the puzzle, it reads, Tick-tock, connect the dots. A bit ominous, I'll say. No point in dwelling on it prematurely. I imagine I'll return to it sooner rather than later. The line is also open, if any of you are so inclined. Though none will believe my tale, I send it to you, Solomon, for you seem to have a mind more open than my compatriots. I guess I'll just have to be careful that it doesn't fall out. I'd taken my rowboat out around the northwestern edge of the cliffs, the ones shrouded in trees that divide downtown Eastmouth from the sea. I'd brought plenty of beer, though I never let myself sink into true intoxication. I had a good day of fishing last October, even caught a trout. I knew with the catch that I had a fish dinner waiting for me when I returned home. Still, I closed my eyes for a moment, lingered on the fresh breeze, and passed to sleep accidentally. There was this box, and I was trapped inside, floating down a creek. Silence was all around me, a peaceful silence, and so I did not struggle. Until there was a crunch and a sudden shriek that rose me so fast I nearly flipped the boat. It was dark then, must have been nearly 8 o'clock. I didn't see nothing at first, so I did pack up my gear as quick as my old hands could muster. As I began to near the bend of the cliffs and paddle back to the docks, I froze. The night air was not chilly, and yet a sliver of fear raced up my spine like a tick looking to nest. I saw it then, a great snake-like thing. Well, folks, this is the first time I've heard of snake monsters in Eastmouth. Bastard must have been 10 feet in length and 3 feet in width. Its head was webbed and it was biting down on a cat. As I rounded the bend, the creature turned its foul gaze right towards me, bright yellow eyes piercing through my skin. Well, wouldn't be the first yellow-eyed monstrosity in these parts. It tore the cat in half, Lord save its soul, and bared its dripping fangs. Heaven knows I began to paddle faster, adrenaline shooting right through me like a rifle. The moon was glaring overhead, reflecting off of the water like some pompous silver platter. I heard the splashes as it came down from the rocky beach, its pace quickening. In my terror, I tried to match it, but all I achieved was the ever-growing ache in my arms. And then, it was at my boat. Ooh, it's getting good. Deciding that I must fight it, I raised my paddle and waited for the creature to leap at me like a bat rising straight from hell. And yet, gradually, I noticed that there was nothing but silence. It was as if it had tired of me and left nothing but the motion of the waves. It was far too quiet. I knew better than to relax my guard, to give it a chance at my turned back, and so I waited, patiently. I could hear the distant murmur of the drunks at the Lorelei and the Peg Leg, but none of those boys could see me from so far out in the black of night. As I turned northward again to eye the water, the beast emerged, shooting 5 feet up in the air, a full mouth of yellow teeth drawn. I responded instantly and smacked it right on the temple. It sunk for a moment before diving once more to grapple with my boat. As it tried to tear the wood loose, I flipped the other end of my paddle and reared it into one of the creature's eyes. A deadly howl lurched out into the night, awkward, shaken, but loud. And then the creature disappeared. I quickly paddled my way back to the safety of the docks. I was a changed man then, bathed in the waves like Christ himself. Wait, the first part of the letter just ends there? If you're practicing for a future career as a novelist, you'll likely want to work on your endings. Very little payoff at all. I mean, you even got me engaged there, too. Not bad, but... we've got a call. Hello, caller. Any input you'd like to add to Eastmouth's ever-growing collection of local legends?
Solomon, you know who this is. End the broadcast and I'll talk. This is important.
Are you sure this wouldn't be something the wonderful townsfolk of Eastmouth would like to hear?
We have no time for these games. Please, you need to hear this in private.
Okay, I'm sorry, Eastmouth. But I'll temporarily be suspending the broadcast. I will, however, shortly return. Don't even think about touching that dial.
What's the problem, Douglas?
There's too much to discuss right now, but I want to know where your friends are. I'll pick them up and we'll come meet you at the station.
The last time I talked to you, you ordered me out of your house. What's changed?
I spoke with Victoria and Michael a week ago. It was a lot to digest. Where are they?
Caleb and Victoria should be waiting for Michael to finish his shift at Horns. We were planning on meeting up and catching a showing of Spider Baby at the Renaissance. What's the hurry?
It doesn't matter. Just expect us to come knocking soon. This is my nightmare come to life. I apologize in advance.
That was odd. I suppose I should just resume the broadcast.
Hello again, Eastmouth. Wonderfully strange phone call I just received. Well, no matter, it's on to the second part of the story. I hope you're all sitting by a fire with a glass of brandy, because I can only imagine that this is about to get good.
How's everyone doing tonight? Good, good. Just swell. Well, we have got a variety of topics to deal with today, but we'll start with the two elephants in the room. Firstly, Kent has some ideas about how to handle the graffiti we've seen pop up around town. At first it was gibberish on the church, the fire station, and the town hall. Now we've got anti-war scribbling all over the dock. As for the second point, we've got to begin our planning for this summer's annual Lobster Fest, and I figured why not start it early? We usually begin to plan too late anyway. With those matters in mind, Kent, why don't you come up and share some ideas with us about how to handle these demon-worshipping hooligans?
I ought to have skipped this one.
Kent? Has anybody seen Kent tonight?
Since when has Kent ever missed? Warchuck isn't there, and neither is Burr. Did they... Wait, oh dear.
Are you okay, Douglas?
I just can't take it anymore. She's a good woman, but she just doesn't get it. She doesn't even try. It's such a bother.
Try telling your folks that you'll be enlisting. They just look at my crazy uncle, shout at me, and stomp out of the room.
It's exhausting. The Deering family have lived in Eastmouth since the inception, and you wish to change that? To leave? To become a veterinarian?
We're getting awfully close to graduating, too. A baby bird's gotta fly free, you know? I get their fear, but...
No, don't cover for them. They're old. It's not maturity. It's just no longer remembering what it feels like to be young. I'm sick of the smell of fish and sick of high school. I'd rather die in the war than take another lesson of pre-calculus.
That's a bit dramatic, but I understand.
Hey, Douglas. What's gotten you in a tizzy?
We've got to go collect Obediah. I think Mrs. Marsh has been kidnapped.
She can't be. Haven't you heard? She left this morning for a New York trip.
Yeah, she probably already landed.
No! I'll explain on the ride over. There's too many variables at play here. Too many variables for such certainty. I'll be in the car. Get Michael. I don't care about the repercussions of pulling him from his job. I'll speak to the owner myself if I must. I won't have another person sacrificed under my negligence.
$0.70 for a game, and for a limited time only. That sounds like an ace. You hear that, folks? Only at Pinhead Bowling Alley. Located on... never mind. You all know where Pinhead is, and, well, you're all probably aware of the deal going on if you actively bowl. Money's money, though. I certainly cannot complain. Where were we? Ah, yes. The story of the Eastmouth snake. A bone-chilling tale that will rattle you to your core. I've got the rest of the letter sitting right in front of me. There's another message on this page. Interesting. It reads, "Find the key and break the lock." Well, someone certainly finds themselves witty. I'm almost getting tired of these riddles. Nonetheless, once I've finished with this story, I'll see if it has any relation to the puzzle. Never been fishing since that night. A few weeks have passed. Talked to some of the sailors and other fishermen. Call me sea-crazed, they did. Irrelevant. In my patience, I wasn't just letting my life slip away. No, I was preparing. Rabbit meat lures, the concealed bear traps for one. Build another type of trap all myself, a pipe trap. See, that bastard is no small fellow, but if it sticks its head into the pipe, a thick noose tightens. Quite proud of it, I must say. Well, if all else fails, I've got my trusty rifle this time. I've been reading up on snake creatures. They're called nagas in a multitude of cultures. Nasty things, that's for sure. Well, there you have it, folks. Eastmouth's latest attraction, the Atlantic Naga. I started hunting for it. Waiting on the cliff edge, the part that slopes down to the shore below. There's a road that leads right out into the woods there. I'd followed it up till it ended at a shabby little creek, and then I moved along a dirt path till the ground began to slope upward. It was unusually chilly that evening. I stared down from the cliff face, looking out at the waves as they crashed against the rocks. Were I not perched like a soldier in a trench, it just might have been meditative. As I lay there, eyes attuned to the gloom, I heard the sounds of a body wading onto the shore. Except it wasn't quite wading, rather more, it was gliding through the water before it, silently climbing up the shore. Then there was this metallic sort of rustling. It was the sound of success. And then, overlooking that beach, I heard a wail that shook the trees themselves. A wail that planted my feet so deep into the cliff, it must have looked like I was afraid that gravity would flip. And yet, with goosebumps and my hair all stiff, I descended from that ledge, aiming my rifle, and I moved towards the trap. I was careful, didn't make a peep. Still, as I climbed around a great rock that separated the sloping hill from the beachfront, there was nothing in sight. No naga, no trail, and no bait either. I moved forward, flabbergasted, nearly delirious. Then I glanced down and realized I'd been wrong. It hadn't left a trail, but by my feet, sticking out of the sand right where the waves met the rocks, was a fancy and fussy wedding ring. Oh, spooky. The next morning, I asked some of the nightlife folk if they'd heard any strange wails coming out from beyond the cliff wall. They looked at me like I was a loony, Solomon. I'm nothing of the sort. I know what I saw. And now, so does Eastmouth. Signed... I can't read that. Might as well be in Sumerian. Well, Eastmouth. Can't say I know what to make of this tale. The others usually have some connective tissue to them, but this... it could be from anyone and for any reason. Even with all the oddities that exist here, I'm unconvinced. Then again, I'm just a pretty voice in your ear. What does it matter what I think? Ah, a caller. You're live and on the air with Solomon. Did you dig the story?
Don't be disrespecting that Naga. Sammy and I, we were out fishing. Sammy didn't much like it, but I did used to be a fisherman.
Sammy?
You ain't know of Sammy. He's my pal, my trout, my boy.
Ah, yes, I understand.
Well, there we were, on them dark waves, and I swear to you right now, I saw a fishy head pop right out. Must have been that there Naga you were talking about.
You're saying you encountered the creature?
Yes, I did, sir. Tried to catch it too. Never reemerged. Bet Sammy scared it off.
I am so sorry, Bert, but I've got another call coming through, so I'm going to have to let you off.
I've seen it.
You're on the air with Solomon.
Hey, Solomon.
How's your night going, Dan?
Swell, but that's not why I called. I can't tell if it's my luck, but I'm aware of the legend of the Naga.
Oh?
Yeah. As far back as 100 years ago, fishermen and rich folk would tell similar stories to their kids to keep them wary of the sea in the night. I suppose they were worried they might drown.
Really? Did your folks?
My granddaddy did once. I didn't used to believe in stories like that, but after what happened, I'm not sure of anything but my gun.
So, you're saying that the Eastmouth Naga is in fact an old folktale?
Something like that. Haven't heard anybody tell the story in a few decades, though. I've never heard the wedding ring part either. It was usually just an average fisherman.
I'm sorry to cut you off like this, Dan, but it looks like my emergency has just arrived. I apologize, but this is necessary, folks. The usual programming should resume soon enough. Good night.
What's so special that it's gotten you lot into a tizzy?
I'm so sorry, Obediah.
What? Just tell me.
I think your mother has been kidnapped.
What? No, that is a load of crock. She's on vacation.
Let me explain. I overheard Warchuck mention to Burr something about Elizabeth and the words flight, quick, and trail at the last council meeting. As she meets with Kent and Aldo on certain occasions, I didn't think much of it at the time.
Why in the hell would my mother sully herself with that slimy carcass of shit?
You'll have to get into that with her yourself. My worst suspicions were confirmed when none of Kent's entourage were at the meeting. Kent has never missed a meeting before. I phoned both Kent and Burr. No response from either of their homes.
Hey, Obediah, did you solve that crossword already?
No? Oh, hell.
This is serious? You're all starting to freak me out quite a bit.
When was the last time I received a letter? October? September?
Or was that creepy, really gross board game?
That's fair, surely, but I haven't heard about any other escaped inmates as of late. Why now? If you're correct, Douglas, then why today? Just because she was going for a flight? He's had plenty of opportunities before now.
Call your mother.
What?
If this is all just a bunch of nothing, she'll have checked into her hotel room, right? Call the front desk.
You are a damned genius, Michael.
You've reached the Biltmore. How may I assist you, sir or madam?
Hello, I've called to ask about my mother, Mrs. Marsh. See, I'm just worried sick. She hates traveling, absolutely loathes it. She gets the shakes. I just wanted to see if she checked in and is all right.
Just a second, sir. I've got our check-ins list right here. I'm sorry, sir, but your mother's not checked into her room. Do you know when her flight was supposed to land?
I'm sorry, son. If I sensed those comments were nefarious, I would have...
I don't want to hear it. One of you, please report a missing person to the police.
I'll do it.
Have you made any progress on the crossword?
How do we know it'll even be related?
We don't. Yes, hello. I'd like to report a missing person.
There's more red ink. If secrets are your forte, try this out for size. Here's a series of clues, a description of the word, and a number of its line in tow. I welcome you to unwind, think on the numbers, throw away the unneeded, and enjoy the show. I am really starting to get tired of riddles.
I'd reckon this is all related, Caleb.
All right, quiet. We don't have enough time to screw around with questions.
That is some big print.
Pick up a pen and help me. We'll get this done quicker if we all take a page.
Correct. I'll take the second.
Page 1, line 1, 7 words.
Page 3.
That can only be
Line
robots.
9. 5 letters. Traps. And also 4 letters. That's gotta
10
be
letters.
road.
That's
What do you
got
mean
to be
I should wait a day?
meditative.
Went out drinking? What kind of cop are you?
Gradually. Yes. It must
4
be
letters. Line 18. Head?
Oh, Solomon.
What?
No. Your name was one of the words.
Ah,
Listen here, you sack of shit. I'll...
Creek,
Northwestern.
for certain.
Yeah.
That's on your sheet, Michael.
Eyes to
Oh,
yourself.
listen here. A life is in danger. Get your ass in...
Wait. Look at word 8. It's the only one that's missing a clue. H-O-S-T. And then G.
Only 2 missing letters. Can it be anything but the obvious?
Not likely.
The last letter is A. For air.
E. E is for Eastmouth.
This can't be happening.
There's just too much at play now to reasonably assert chance as the cause.
Oh, What does it all mean? Can we translate them to directions? The riddle said...
I know what the instructions said! How could I not? I apologize.
We have to stay cool, Obediah.
I'm sorry for that. I have to keep my head. I know. Any ideas?
It's a mash of words. Maybe there's a significance to them.
Maybe? I mean, if this was specifically laid out for me, there should be a way to put it together.
Black, meditative, ache.
Northwestern Creek.
Road, Eastmouth. I've got nothing.
Wait, repeat that, won't you, Victoria?
Road, Eastmouth?
And you, Caleb?
Northwestern Creek?
My God, I'm a fool. Instinctively, I saw a pattern without consciously realizing it. Northwestern Road, Black Creek.
Are you... Wait!
You just might be right. Every teenager in these parts has heard about Black Creek and the rundown shack.
And there's only a single road that runs along the creek. One that runs out northwest, at least from here.
Wait. Doesn't this feel strange to you at all?
I'm with Caleb, surprisingly. I mean, why go through the effort of spinning an old legend with a fresh twist and then giving you a location with it? It feels like a trap.
Of course it's a trap. I wouldn't expect anything less from Kent. But be aware, either decision, to go or not, is gambling just the same without the full picture.
It doesn't matter if it's a trap. Look, I've got an axe and a knife here in the station. I won't let them hurt my mother. I can't. I can't take the loss of them both.
It's all right, son. I've got a crossbow in my car. If we're careful and quiet, we should at least be able to scope the location out.
I've got the knife. If you're serious about what you said, Obadiah, then we shouldn't waste any more time.
Why does my life always end up with so much danger?
Are you coming, Victoria?
Give me a minute. Look, I know we don't have any time to waste, but I want you to know that we're not going to force you to face this alone. This is Elizabeth. Before John Mason High, I almost considered her my own mother.
You were hanging around an awful lot in elementary school.
Well, your mom can cook. My mom starts kitchen fires. No matter what happens, we've got your back. We're gonna save your mother, take this creep down, and expose him for all his crimes.
You're a good friend, V. I've got the axe. Let's peel out of here.
Let's pray they didn't hear me stow the car back there.
How could they? It was like a mile back.
Do not underestimate Kent. He has not gotten away with his deeds by luck.
I know there's suspicion, but really, are we sure he committed any serious crimes beyond being a creep?
Blackmailing and evicting one of the orchard owners.
Killing Johnson and the old pastor.
Christ!
And likely even more than that. Quiet. The shack is up ahead. Let's hope for Elizabeth's sake that we didn't misunderstand the clues.
What should we do when we get close? We can't just barge in. I'm not ready to get blown to pieces.
We'll survey the house from the outside. Michael and I have weapons, so we'll move around opposite sides of the perimeter. Douglas, hide behind those bushes and keep your crossbow aimed right at the front door.
I don't like this. Not one bit.
If this was midday and we were surrounded by Marines, you'd still be shaking in your boots.
I'll watch from this tree. It has a better view than the bushes.
I can't see anything inside.
Likewise, it's deadly silent. We should return. We'll head in first. You keep behind us.
Both of you, please be careful. They're inside and we haven't heard anything yet. Maybe it isn't a trap?
I wouldn't be so sure. Keep your wits about you.
Gee whiz. Just look at this place. It's... Is that a mannequin on the staircase?
What?
Get the bastard!
You son of a...
Carefully now.
I've got him. Grab his legs.
I got it! I've actually got him!
Hold him down. I want answers.
Are you two all right? No. Open your eyes, Kenneth.
Keep him down, Caleb.
Open your eyes!